Power Rangers are chosen to be superheroes. Some by an official in the organization that invented their morphers, some by a mystical higher power. So it would stand to reason, if they were chosen, they were vetted in some way. We tend to assume that any superhero is of a higher moral caliber than the rest of us, but are there any Power Rangers who are jerks? Yes. And in this video, I'm gonna go over my top 3. If you saw the title of this video and were hoping for a little real-world drama about the actors, don't click away just yet. You can skip to the timestamp on the screen to get the tea. But I wanted to give the other folks a chance to leave the video when I'm done with my bit of fantastical fun before it gets real.
Oh my God, Becky, look at her attitude.
Oh my God.
You know I gotta give an honorable mention to my girl Kendall Morgan from Dino Charge. I totally understand why you wouldn't want a random waitress with no paleontological experience coming with you on a secret dig to find your alien BFF's lost magical crystal. There are so many things that could go wrong, so many questions you don't want her to ask, not to mention there's a possibility an angry lion alien could show up and she could get hurt. But the level of disdain with which Kendall addresses Shelby after she's already a ranger is uncool. First of all, Shelby was chosen by her inner gem, which is a magical selection and implies the grid saw something in her. She is superhero material. Want to argue with that? Argue with the morphing grid. And secondly, where is your feminism? Ladies gotta stick together. Shelby is the only other woman in that room. And, at the time, the only woman on the Power Ranger team. Kendall owes it to the female race to support Shelby, but she repeatedly tries to tear her down the whole season. This lady has issues.
Who would you get?
You're the ringleader.
I want to get in the fridge too.
Connor McKnight. Connor is a sexist jock. Power Rangers as a show does a really great job of having the jock archetype be written in an outside-the-box kind of way. There's a karate instructor, a professional skateboarder, a knight. However, in Dino Thunder, they went with soccer player. Now, I don't know if being a literal jock means you have to be written like the worst type of jock, but Connor is abhorrent to me. From episode 1 saying dumb shit like,
I go out with girls. You know, they're the ones at school that smell really good with the long hair and the makeup.
In Dino Thunder, there is an episode where they watch Super Sentai, saying it's a Japanese show based off of their team's notoriety.
It's us!
They are enjoying it, but he's not. So he literally picks up the remote and turns the TV off in the middle of the scene without talking to anyone else first. He could have just walked away. You may not like it, Connor, but everything isn't always about you.
What do you laugh for? This is totally weird.
These people who are your supposed friends are enjoying the show. And worst of all, he never changes or grows. A prime example of a rich white boy who becomes a better person is Wes Cullens, Time Force Red. He is well written, and that's why he's one of my favorite characters. And Connor has ample opportunity, but the writers let him down. The girl he likes is into activism and wants to save a tree from being cut down. And there's a whole episode where he seems to be learning to care about anything outside himself, learning that not every girl will make out with him just for existing. But when it comes time to pick a prom date, does he ask the girl he described as the future Mrs. Connor McKnight? No, he tells Ethan,
I gotta divide it into 3 categories. The cute ones with good personality, and ones whose dad can pay for the limo.
At that point, the fact that he ends up going with the tree girl is rendered superfluous. All I feel is bad for her, because she has a shitty prom date. Obviously, Connor is my personal least favorite Power Ranger, if you couldn't tell from all the ranting. But I have given him 3rd place because nothing that he ever did directly caused anyone harm. Which brings us to...
Girl, what'd she do? Oh, did you hear?
Taylor Earhardt. Taylor is written as an angry tomboy, and the audience is just supposed to shrug off her actions and say, meh, that's just Taylor. But for the sake of creating drama, some of the things the writers have had her do are insane. Starting with the fact that she assaults and kidnaps the Red Ranger, Cole Evans. That scene is so buck wild. They wake him up, he is homeless and sleeping on a park bench at the time, ask him to come be a superhero, he is notably confused, but before anyone can explain effectively or he can even get himself together enough to ask a question, Taylor punches him so hard in the stomach that it knocks him out, and then makes her teammates an accessory to kidnapping by forcing them to carry him. Like, girl, he wasn't trying to run away or fight them, he was literally just confused, and her go-to is violence.
Sorry, Jungle Boy, you've just been drafted.
And best of all, Alyssa is the only one who apologizes when she was arguably the least involved. I mean, she didn't hit him, and she clearly didn't carry his body back to the animarium. The audience hopes that Taylor learns to be a better person as she becomes a member of a team. But she doesn't. When Kite is living on the animarium, she is so mean to him. In episode 32, she grabs him by the shoulders, whips him around, and aggressively asserts,
Be quiet. A kid shouldn't talk like that.
It doesn't matter whether you're a kid or an adult. This is important.
That is honestly the calmest and most well-worded response ever to an unstable adult who is discrediting you. This is a villain's mindset. We see it time and again. You can't tell me she isn't the reason he runs away. I mean, there was a lot of other stuff going on and emotions were high, but that really was the chase them away instead of talk them down move. And she doesn't even go to help look for him. Everyone else goes out looking for the orphan boy they just lost in the city. But Taylor stays behind with the stubborn attitude of that whiny little shit will come back after he stops being dramatic. And she only feels bad for her behavior after she realizes that he's a god. Like, whatever, lady, we all see you.
And all this time I've been treating him so badly.
My girl needs therapy.
I heard it through the grapevine. You cannot be serious. Mic drop.
Joel Rawlings. And this is a hard one because it's so much a sign of the times, but that makes it worse because the audience isn't even supposed to think Joel ever does anything wrong. And he gets what he wants. I am, of course, talking about how Joel sexually harasses Miss Fairweather until she marries him. So icky. The worst thing he does is when Miss Fairweather is in the hospital and he looks under the bed sheets, you know, to get a glimpse of her nether region, and he has the audacity to do this in front of his friends. Carter does call him out. Joel!
What are you thinking? I'm looking for a towel.
I was looking for a towel. Really? That's a weak-ass rationalization, you douche canoe. Not to mention, she only spilled her drink in the first place because he jumped on the bed and invaded her personal space while the others are standing by respectfully, grabs her hand, and then refuses to let it go when she is clearly uncomfortable, so she ends up pulling away and spilling her drink. I don't really know what else to say about this one. No means no, and being persistent isn't a good thing. It can result in coercion, okay? Not love. Are there ways in which this love story could have been handled better? Absolutely. Logan's run is a prime example. Yes, that's right. Joel's behavior makes me so uncomfortable
that I'm going to talk to you about a sci-fi movie from the 70s instead of talking about Joel.
In Logan's run, the people live in a dystopian future disguised as a utopia, where they party non-stop and everything is machine automated, but the price is everyone must die when they turn 30.
And Logan first meets his love interest Jessica when he uses the
instant sex teleporter in his room to phase in a person who, I guess, voluntarily submitted their real physical body to be in this machine like a full-scale live-action tender. The technology is confusing and alarming. She then expresses to him that a friend of hers recently passed and she got in this sex teleporter thinking a little promiscuity would make her feel better. But now that she's in his room, she doesn't really feel like it anymore. Logan is hilariously confused, because all anyone ever does is take drugs and have schmecks, and he had never heard anyone say they didn't want to before. Even so, he doesn't force himself on her, and she leaves. And for the rest of the adventure that ensues, Logan never asks again, he never pursues her, he never makes unwanted advances, even when they are naked and huddled together for warmth in this one scene where the male gaze is being creepier than the protagonist of the movie. And when they do eventually get around to having schmecks, they are literally skinny dipping together, but he's keeping his distance, and so she is the one who brings it up. Put simply, Joel could have made advances towards Miss Fairweather, been turned down, handled it like an adult, maybe had a few conversations with his teammates about how he wasn't over her and he was sad it didn't work out, and eventually, at the appropriate time, she could have asked him, or he could have asked if she was interested in trying again. But no! She is full stop anti-Joel for the whole season, and he is fully into the creepy playbook until she breaks down and says yes, which is really a no. Okay, it is at this point I will ask anyone not interested in real-life drama to like and subscribe for more Power Rangers content. And now we wave as you depart. Content warning: Nazis, physical violence, spousal abuse, self-harm, and red rum. Austin St. John, who played the original Mighty Morphin Red Ranger, in 2022 was involved in a scam of false applications for the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP loans. PPP was the program that was meant to help businesses continue paying their employees when things were slow during COVID social distancing and isolation. The scam took 16 loans, a total of $3.5 million in aid money from the US government. The actor pleaded not guilty, and this is actually the reason why Jason Scott does not appear in the Once and Always Netflix special, as it was filmed in New Zealand, and a person who is involved in an ongoing trial cannot leave the country. In 2024, ASJ was a part of a group who took a plea deal and confessed to being guilty of fraud. On the less legal, more drama side of the internet, ASJ was met with backlash in March of 2024 when he announced his newest merch line, the Warriors shirts, would have quotes on them from several accomplished warriors throughout history. And the main figure he name-dropped was World War II Mustache Man. And I quote,
Hitler was, a demon on steroids, but he had some pretty good one-liners.
He was accused of aggrandizing this war criminal, as well as rumors he just said it to get rage bait clicks and free promotion. And as you will note, I have not said the individual's name out loud, because I'm actually worried my video would be taken down, since it's synonymous with hate speech. It is also worth noting that wearing Nazi symbols is illegal in many countries, including Germany, and I don't think quotes would be treated any differently. Also in 2024, Green Samurai actor Hector David Jr. assaulted an old man with a walker in a parking lot by pushing him to the ground. There is video footage of this incident, and it was reportedly started over an argument about a handicapped parking space. After being arrested, he fled the state and had a warrant put out for his arrest. And if memory serves, that lasted about a month. Eventually standing trial, he was sentenced to 45 days in prison. Pua Magasiva, who played the Red Ninja Storm Ranger, regularly beat his wife and threatened to do the same to their daughter. The reports go into more detail, but I will not be doing that in this video. The actor struggled with his mental health until he eventually took his own life in 2019. In an interview with his wife, Liz Magasiva, she states, "That's all I really care to say on the subject, and you can look it up if you have further curiosities." Ricardo Medina Jr., who played the Wild Force Red Ranger, killed his roommate, Joshua Sutter, with a samurai sword. So far, I'm not getting a good vibe from you played the Red Ranger or your name is Junior in this video. I'm so sorry if your name is Junior. This violent attack, which allegedly began with an argument over Medina's girlfriend, took place in 2015. Medina claims it was self-defense after his roommate kicked in his bedroom door. However, after the trial concluded, evidence came out that the injuries were more in keeping with Sutter being the one who was defending himself. Medina pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter in 2017 and was sentenced to 6 years in prison. He was released in 2020, reportedly for good behavior. Well, that was horrifying. I hope you all had fun If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. May the power protect you. Bye! Is of a higher moral... Woo! Fuck. Oh, shit. Didn't like it that time either, but it doesn't matter.